Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe, and I'm a weapon of mass instruction. And I was going to sit down and do a fucking rant, and it lasted for like 27 minutes before I got sick and fucking tired of it. But as you can see, I'm here. I'm alive. I haven't been aced, haven't been disappeared. I'm not in some dark hole anywhere. I'm at my ex's house. So, everybody saw that we got nothing going on the 27th. Awesome. I'm going to keep my eyes open for August the 3rd, and the reason for that is because 8 plus 3 equals 11. Alright, so we already know how they love the 9s and 11s. That's not my idea. I saw that video a long ass time ago, but then I saw it again the other day. The guy did an update on it saying, hey, people, don't be stupid. It's not going to happen on the 27th. It's going to happen on 8-3. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for that. If something crazy goes down then, well, it wasn't me that said so. I'm just relaying the message from the other guy using the stuff that Rick Clay said. So if you want to find some good stuff about the number 11 and why the order loves that number, find the Rick Clay videos, okay? He was also found dead, I believe in a ditch in the side of the road in 2008. I think that's how it went. So I'm not positive on that, but there it is. So why am I standing up here doing this shit? Well, the main reason for that is I want to actually do something. I want to show you something. I want to show you some good training, right? So tonight, real quick. Oh yeah, before I get into it, there was one other thing. 8-3, not the 27th. UFO during the opening ceremony. Somebody freaking was able to save some footage of a UFO during the fireworks display. I thought for sure that the 27th was going to be it, like fucking alien invasion or fucking, terrorist attack or something crazy like that, simply because NBC, was it? Yeah, NBC, the company that has exclusive rights for airing it live to the United States, they wanted to time delay it, so it all coincided at fucking like, I want to say 7 o'clock at night, but freaking the opening ceremony started at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Live, and I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I would have been able to find it on YouTube already. Somebody freaking bootlegging it or something like that. But I didn't. I really, honestly, didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to put my eyes toward the fucking orders ritual. I really don't want to devote any energy to it, other than when the day comes, the 8-3. I'm gonna have my eyes out. I'm gonna keep my eyes posted, ears peeled, something like that. You know what I mean? And freaking, I want to be ready if the shit hits the fan. Also, UN gun treaty did not go down, which is awesome. Pissed me off a little bit that I had to go through InfoWars in order to find that shit, to actually get the actual text of the UN gun treaty, and I fucking can't remember the URL that I had for it, but if you do your digging, you're going to find it. It's not on the UN's actual webpage. I looked. That was the first place I looked. Those motherfuckers, they didn't put it on there. They put it on a subsidiary page, like a fucking non-government organization that was responsible for penning this shit. Anyway, Alex Jones is saying all this shit about, hey, it's going to give them the opportunity to destroy our Second Amendment. Well, check it out. First off, everybody was screaming that it was going to take away our Second Amendment. I was too. I'm happy to say that I'm kind of wrong there, all right? The specific wordage right off the bat in the beginning of it was that it authorized nothing in the treaty was going to take away any citizen's rights to own firearms for historical, cultural, sporting, hunting, or they used a Latin term that means among other things, purposes, all right? So check it out. Basically, what that means is even though it didn't list defending your home and defending yourself in public, in places where you have the right to be, all right, it also, because of that, among other things, and they didn't define it, that means as long as our purposes are legal, i.e. defending ourselves, defending our home, defending our loved ones, all right, in some states, you're legally allowed to defend property using lethal force, all right? Because that, among other things, is there, and it has not been defined specifically to include something but not other thing, all right? That means to me that A, culturally, B, for among other things, that tells me that I'm still legally allowed to fucking carry. But the fact of the matter is, it did not go through. The United States asked for more time, so did Russia, so did China. That's the thing I got from it. Also, Article 15, that's the one that Alex Jones was talking about, that it's going to boom, 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 destroy the Second Amendment rights. I got to go through it again, but honestly, looking through it, deciphering it for myself, it didn't seem to me that that was the case. All right? I'm not here to like freaking say he's wrong or she's wrong, you know, whoever. Maybe he's got a fucking lawyer on his side. You know, I'm not a fucking lawyer. All I can do is look up words that I don't know on fucking like dictionary.com or Wikipedia or wherever and figure out what I think it means. But it did not seem to me that that article actually takes away or allows the government to take our guns away. All right. Basically, the draft as it stood, other than the clause that says that the state has the authority for individual defense, all right, not the individual has the authority for individual defense, okay? So they're basically recognizing the state's authority, but not the individual's authority. So yes, there is a loophole there, all right? But I don't think it's strong enough to where they could freaking come at us and say, hey, we're taking your guns, there's nothing you can do or say about it. You can either give them up or die, all right? I think that's partly why Obama decided he didn't want to sign it right off the bat, because he didn't have that ironclad fucking, I'm going to do this because, all right? But either way, regardless of what the fucking UN treaty says, in the end, if they do come for my guns, I ain't giving them up. And I know there's been people out there saying freaking, hey, pick your battles, fight the bigger fight, you know, lose the battle, win the war. But you know what? When it comes down to it, if I start giving ground on the little thing, all right, when it comes to time for the big thing, am I going to be able to fucking push through? All right? So I'm going to push through right off the fucking bat. And if I get aced and, you know, everybody says, oh, well, he must have been some fucking homegrown terrorist. Well, you already know I'm not. I'm just a guy who loves my Second Amendment rights. I love the right and ability and liberty to actually defend myself, my home, my loved ones. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to stop rambling about that. What I wanted to actually do tonight, something constructive, is actually showing you a couple things about stance and actual, like, you know, drawing practice. All right, I'm just going to show you some drawing practice. I'm going to show you a little thing I found with my holster that I don't like so much. All right, so that's why it's important to do some dry runs and get this muscle memory ingrained in yourself before the actual shit hits the fan. That way, if there's something wrong with your holster, you have the opportunity to fix it before you run into trouble. All right. So I was doing this the whole time I was talking to you, all right? So that right there, this is actually a not very threatening gesture to have. If you've got your two hands together, all right, people usually take that to mean you're gesturing and you're not in a position to actually fight. If you put your fist up like this, that tells them, okay, you're ready to throw some punches, all right? You got your hands in the pockets, that usually tells them, wow, he's gaffing me off. He doesn't fucking take me seriously. He thinks he's all fucking badass. Well, you know, shit like that, you know, it's a sign of disrespect. But not a whole lot of people realize that I got that concealed carry in my pocket, all right? And that's what my former manager did as well. My old manager and my newest manager, before I left the range, they both had pocket pistols, and a lot of people don't realize that you have your hands in the pockets. It might seem like a sign of disrespect. You're just fucking, you know, gaffing them off or whatever. And if they, you know, think they might be able to get one over on you, they don't really realize that. Boom, split second, you know? Unfortunately, these are my old work pants, so the pockets are a little bit tight. You know, this is my backup now. Now that I got the open carry, that's going to be my main go-to gun, all right? So before I actually do anything, again, that fucking hands together, don't interlock the fingers, all right? Don't look like you're praying like that. What happens is if you get adrenaline pumping through your system, you lose your fine motor skills, which means, first off, your muscles are going to start clenching. So when your muscles clench together like this, you can't get your fingers out away from each other, and it's going to take you an extra couple of seconds to get to your pistol and draw, all right? But if you have one hand on top of the other, boom, all right? You can do whatever you want. You can gesture, you can freaking defend yourself, but it's a non-threatening movement, especially with your hand up against your chest, all right? So before I actually go through the quick draw and the practice and show you what I found with my holster that I don't like, real quick, I'm going to take it nice and slow. All right. I'm going to drop that live magazine, just like old times, right? There's that chambered round. All right. And for the purpose of this, I'm going to leave it unsafe. I'm going to leave the mag inserted because it does have a little bit of a platform. And the more space you have on the grip, the easier it is to get your hands on it, okay? So back in the holster, and once I snap it, we'll be ready to start. All right, the whole purpose of this holster, this is an older style, and I know there's not a whole lot of light here, but it's got a thumb brake snap, which means once you hit that grip, all you have to do is sweep straight down with your thumb, and it pops right out, and you can just pull that pistol right out. It's a good idea to practice snapping that thumb brake together and reholstering without looking, because when you got it to muscle memory, both reholstering and unholstering and drawing on the target to the point where you never have to look at it, that's awesome. Because if the shit hits the fan, let's say you run out of ammo on your main carry gun, you want to switch to your backup pistol. If you got a little bit of a lull in the fight before you do that, you have the opportunity to reholster and then grab your secondary, as opposed to dropping it and grabbing your secondary and going. Because if you go and you're like 3 rooms over by the time you run out of ammo with your secondary, all right, maybe the fighting stopped, but now you have to worry about finding more ammo. You find out one of the bad guys was using a .40 caliber, so you could take his ammo, reload with your pistol. You'd have to go through 3 rooms to get back to your pistol. So weapon retention, ammo and magazine retention is key. That's one thing I really love about this pistol is it's got that lanyard loop. I don't have anything attached to it right now because this isn't really the holster I want to stay with. I actually want a Safariland holster, but I'll get into that. All right, so this hip holster, it does do the trick. All right, but again, starting off with this, this little non-threatening maneuver here. All right, you're just standing, doing whatever, but you can drop into a combat stance with no problem, real quick and easy. You can do whatever you need to do. If the guy's real close up, you can, get in close and you can get ready to throw some punches and freaking defend yourself and shit. All right, or you can immediately go for that gun. All right, it really depends. So here goes. All right, I'm just gonna, I'm talking. Oh shit! And that right there is what I don't want to happen. Holster fell right out of my pocket, or it fell right off of my pants. All right. So it's good that I have it there. It's a nice, versatile thing. It's in the pocket, in the pants, outside of the pants, and it works. The problem is the clip kind of loosened up or whatever, and now the holster slips right off of my pants, and that kills my weapons retention unless I really feel like, throwing that pistol right into my pants fucking like gangster style. And that'll work too because my pants are tight enough to do it, but I really don't want to because it's going to be a bitch to draw again. So that was right there on my first try with the freaking quick draw, and it wasn't even that quick of a draw, and I can't even really do that practice like I wanted to. I did it like 10 times before, and I was getting really quick, but every time I got really, really quick with it, to the point where I was like on target within a second, fucking this happened. And I don't want that. So that right there is just an example of why it's important to practice, find the holster that's right for you before the shit hits the fan. The holster that I really want is Safariland brand. It's a thigh rig or drop leg holster is another way of calling it. And you just do a Google search for it. Safariland drop leg, Safariland thigh rig. All right, they have them to where it's just the holster, and then they have them where it's a molly panel. All right, the nylon strips going across, and that molly panel will allow you to attach a holster to it if you would like to do that. Which also gives you the leeway to where if you buy yourself like a flak jacket, an interceptor vest, a Spartan vest, or just a load-bearing vest, all right, any sort of chest rig where you've got the molly strips, if that holster has some molly attachment points on it, you could actually pop that. This is not a good position. I saw an Army guy do this one time. This right here is no good because if you're drawing and it's pointing right at your head, like boom, what the fuck? All right, I saw an Army guy do that one time. He was a staff sergeant. He was a fucking staff weenie. He probably hit the range once a year, and he was probably told to do that by the next guy up. Don't do that. If anything, find a spot. If you don't want it on a thigh rig, but you do want it on your flak jacket, all right, they have panels set up where you can offset it sideways to where it's sitting here like this, so where you draw straight out and boom, you're good, all right? And then they have angled ones where you draw up like this and then out. All right, those are not my favorites, any of those systems, but it does the trick if you don't want to wear a thigh rig or a drop leg style holster, because that is like right out in the open. If it loosens up, it's going to shake and flop around and shit. All right, I've done it. In the past, I had the opportunity to carry a sidearm for a full day of training, and it was an M9, a little bit lighter than the Beretta 96A1, but same weight class, you know, so it wasn't that much lighter. But once that thigh rig actually loosened up from running around a bit, that started to happen. It was just fucking flopping around and shit. But I'll show that to you whenever I get it, if I have the opportunity to. The tactical store that I wanted to buy it from, they don't stock it from lefties. And they generally don't stock it for the Beretta series pistols anyway, simply because they cater to police and EMTs and fire, and most of those guys go with the Glock platform. So it is what it is. I might have to order online, although I'm not a big fan of ordering online, simply because I don't want to put my fucking shit out there like that. You know what I mean? I'm telling you all. So if there's some fucking, like, you know, desk jockey checking out my shit and scanning my shit on YouTube, well, he can watch the fucking video and he can get to 15 minutes into where I tell you I'm looking for the drop leg holster. And who knows, he might pick up some good training along the way. But I don't want them to just be able to see, okay, he spent like, you know, $100 on his credit card, $100 on his debit card this day. He ordered shit off cheaper than dirt.com. He bought ammo, he bought a holster, he bought another fucking upper for whatever, you know, whatever. I don't want them to see all that shit. There's some shit that you really won't be able to find except online, like some gas masks. I'll be honest, I wouldn't trust any gas mask that I saw in an Army Navy store. Simple matter of, like, even though I've been trained in the use of them, you know, unless there's an obvious gap or fucking hole in it, I would not be able to tell if maybe there's like those tiny fucking stress fractures in the rubber, that little tiny dry rot. You know, it even if you can't see it, it can be bad enough to where you're not going to want to use that gas mask. That's just an example. But a lot of stuff out there, I mean, you'll be able to find very quickly and easy at your local gun shop, at your Army Navy store, all that shit. For 95% of you out there, if you're right-handed people, unless that whole thing about lefties being crazy is correct, that means all of us out here are lefties like me, which would be great. You guys probably won't have too much of a problem if you can find a good tactical supply store, anything that caters to police, EMTs, fire, military, all that stuff. They'll have the right-handed holsters. If you go with a popular platform like the Glock, that's what a lot of people tell you. And I say, you know what? It's easy to learn. It's easy to maintain. It's reliable. Yes. Okay. Personally, it's just not my thing. The trigger I found to be a pain in the ass to deal with. You know, but it's great. If the shit hits a fan, you know, it's a great bedside gun. It's a great carry gun. You know, I like the Beretta platform because it's good for all around. You know what I mean? It's not so heavy that I can't carry it. I've already gotten used to the weight of it on the holster. You know what I mean? So it's not that it's a pain in the ass to carry. That first double action trigger is still really light, and I could cock the hammer if I have a moment before the shit really hits the fan and I have to fire. All right, but I don't have to cock the hammer. So I can. What I do is just like with the Bursa. You saw me flip it onto safe before I unloaded it. I carry it on fire. Again, that's just me. Not necessarily the safest thing to do. The NRA and all the firearms manuals tell you never to leave it off of safe until you're ready to fire it. Honestly, it's just like the weapons at the range. In 3.5 years of working there, I never had a negligent discharge. The only time a weapon fired when I didn't want it to was either a dumbass customer jumped the gun, so to speak, and started shooting before I said, okay, it's all yours, you got 7 rounds, go ahead. You know, before I finish saying that and they shoot, and that's like, you know, I didn't want it to happen. There was also one time when I I had a 22 actually slam fire. But again, safe muzzle direction, treat it like it's loaded, only pointed it at the target. Alright, so even though it went off and I wasn't ready for it, it happened not because I pulled the trigger when I wasn't supposed to. Alright, it happened because fucking the firing pin got stuck and fucking bam. So there we go. I think that's all I got for you. And I cut it down to 20 minutes. I carried the message and then some that I wanted to, so that's awesome. Oh yeah, that's one last thing I wanted to mention, but I haven't yet. For the next couple of days, I'm going to be focusing more on the business I'm going to start. It's called Double Fox Consulting. Double Fox Consulting. If you look up on YouTube, well, not YouTube, Facebook. I have a Facebook page up for it. Look for the one that's a business, not the one that's a person. I started one that's a person before I realized that you can start one as a business very easily, so I decided to do that. Go to the one that's as a business if you want to follow me there. All right, the more likes I have there, the more people in my area are going to pick it up anyway, so that's cool too. And just like I'm doing here on this channel on YouTube and on my normal Facebook account, whenever I do get clients for that business, I'm going to freaking start embedding the videos there on the timeline, so you'll be able to take a look at that. Again, it's facebook.com/doublefoxconsulting. Good shit. That's all I got for you tonight. You all stay safe. Oh yeah, I don't have any clients yet. I don't officially have the business up and running yet. I just have the site, but that should be filled up pretty shortly. So if you like it, as soon as I get some updates for you and as soon as I get some actual good shit training for you up there, I'll put it up. So you guys will be able to get your hands on that kind of for free. But I'm going to be, as I start getting clients, I'm going to start printing out like the fucking waivers to have your image up on YouTube or whatever. And I'll put them up as training. I will have ads on that, but you know, probably shouldn't be too much of a problem if you guys are still watching this shit, even though I'm putting ads up on these. And again, it's not taking money from you, it's taking money from Google. They're making buttloads of money anyway because they will put ads on people's videos, even if they don't monetize them randomly. So, what the fuck? If they're going to do it randomly, I'd rather they do it all the time and I get a cut of the fucking pay. So, there we go. And that's all I got for you right now. Stay safe, keep your head on the swivel, keep on practicing, get that muscle memory going so you don't have a fucking problem like I do tonight. If the shit hits the fan, I mean, honestly, I don't really care if the holster falls, but I do want that ability to retain my weapon afterwards. So, there we go. Peace.